Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We're back. So I got to share a story. It just it hit me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I got to tell you this story because it was so dang funny." I thought it was because I understand the law of attraction, and for the most part, still learning some details in there, but for the most part. So anyway, at work we're getting ready for this very very big event, and um vendors sign up, and this one particular vendor waited till the last day to sign up online at night after we were closed and had some difficulties. So the next day, uh the lady calls. No, so this is a couple. The lady calls and apparently is a irate, crazy bitch. I'm just gonna say it that way. Like off the charts. Apparently, this is not from my experience. This is being told to me from the person who answered the phone. She wouldn't even let somebody explain to her have a conversation. It wasn't about a conversation. It was just about her calling and yelling at us because she needed somebody to blame for whatever reason. So the first person who answered the phone and got this lady was talking to me about it because I oversee the whole vendor registration part. And so she's telling me what's going on with that conversation. So while we're talking, the lady calls back again and somebody else answers. And the lady's going off on this person too. And she's like, okay, I can just hear the side that I'm on, right? In the office, it says, okay, well, let me get your name and number and I'll have somebody return your call. And she's, you know how you, when somebody's on the other end just running their mouth and you're trying to get a word in edgewise, and that's the side I'm hearing. So I'm like, okay, here we go. So the one person's in my office, we're talking about it. The other person gets off the phone and comes over. He's like, oh my God, right? She's just fit to be tied. It was. So I said, all right, okay. This lady called and had two completely different conversations with two different people that didn't even, the stories weren't even the same. Like it was two completely different conversations. Okay. So with that, I said, all right, you guys, I'm just going to give it a little bit and then maybe give her a minute to settle. And then I'll call her back. I'll take care of it. This is not for you guys to take care of. I'll take care of it. So we all go about our thing and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is the best part. Her husband came in just as nice. And I was standing at the front. So when he was walking to the door, one of the employees said, oh my God, that's her husband. And I said, okay. So, right, I just take a breath before he walks in and I'm just like, okay, I got this. We're good. We got this. He came in and he was just the nicest person. We got everything taken care of. We figured out what the glitch was. And actually, it was an issue on their end because they had tried to use a card online where they had moved and they hadn't changed their address. So the addresses that they were putting in the system and the address the credit card has on file weren't matching up. So it wouldn't let them sign up. But they wanted to blame somebody. The lady wanted to blame somebody. So she was targeting us. And so anyway, I brought that to his attention because it comes up on our screen. He's like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot we didn't change the address. I said, okay, well, this is why you can't sign up or couldn't sign up last night. Right. But it was a very calm conversation. We laughed, we got it taken care of anyway. And I was just thinking the entire time, like, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing really good with my point of attraction right now. This is awesome.
Which is so amazing, honestly, Amy, when you think about this, because you ended up not talking to the person on the phone at all because you were not a vibrational frequency match. Pretty plain and simple, plain and simple. And then you got the husband that comes in that can have the conversation.
Yeah.
He probably didn't want to be at home listening to it anymore anyways. when the universe was trying to let them know, hey, you guys need to get this address corrected on this bill or on this credit card, because you're going to get a bill and it's not going to go to your house, and then you're going to have all kinds of other problems afterwards. So it's like such a gentle way that the universe can present information to us, if we want to look at it that way. Or we can be like the other person, and losing our freaking mind, and however she might have made anybody else feel when they talk to them on the phone, because that's for their experience too.
Yep.
Is hers was much worse because she was dealing with all this inside. And that goes back to our conversation in the last video about doing what feels good. And I also know there are times when you all of a sudden you're like this freaking snowball flying from the top of the peak all the way down. You're picking up, you're grabbing a hold of people, buildings, trees, animals, like you're taking them all. But it's like, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
Awesome.
But I think about the two people at the office who had those conversations, and their point of attraction is one has the abuse background, the timid, shy, doesn't know how to use her voice. And so she would attract that. The other person is squirrely, is like squirrel brain. She has some anger within her. She's got like all these internal turmoil still rumbling around that she hasn't addressed. And so she has this conversation. And then this gentle older gentleman comes in, and we just laughed, and it was so easy. And I'm like, yes, this is so good. This is so good for me. So
it's so awesome. It really is. That really is. The whole process is
so
pretty amazing.
I bring this up because if you want to know where you're at with yourself, you can see this through the people that you are interacting with. 100%. If you're, so prime example, if you're having a bad day, you wake up in the morning, you stub your toe, and then you decide the whole day is going to be shitty, notice the conversations and the people and the experiences you have throughout the day. And when people say, oh, it's just a horrible, this bad day, it's this, I'm like, no, it was a moment. It doesn't define your whole day. And I will tell people that out loud because it's a reminder for me. I don't care if it registers with them. It's a reminder for me. I'm like, nope, it was just a moment, and we're going to move past this, and it could be an amazing day the rest of the day. That's what we're going to make of it.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears and let's move forward now with that. So,
because we don't have to stay there.
No,
we have in the past. We thought we had to stay there. God, for so many things. Yesterday, I was stressing out. I was in a place of fear, change, changing. It's like a cryptocurrency or whatever, but going from one platform to another platform in order to protect your you're on a blank on the words. Doesn't even matter, but to protect your money anyways. And it was like, I was really like, I just couldn't do this. And it's like, we're having the conversation at home. And it's like, I'm going to have to get used to this because this is the way where things are all going to. And to me, it gets a little bit scary. And he says, well, that's the Taurus part of you. And I never thought about that because a Taurian doesn't like change typically. And it's like, I've been doing great with change. I mean, honestly, I feel like I've certainly improved. That must have been something I wanted to come here and overcome by being a Taurus, honestly, because it seems like that. And then being so bullheaded about things, which I had my whole life, and, like putting your foot down and not budging on things, even when I wasn't right, but I would find the loophole to make myself right.
Let me just point out this real quick. Your birthday's in May, that's a 5, and you're 55. So you have 3 5s this year, sister. This.
Oh, and my birthday's on the 15th. So it's like, right? That's just the way it is all about change. It really is.
This is your big year of change, for sure.
It really is. Oh gosh. And then it's like, for me, I'm leaving my work, and it's like, part of me has all of a sudden, like, I know on the inside, this is what with a knowing, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then all of a sudden my mind starts to creep in and starts thinking about these things about worry. Now I can get caught up in the worry and the fear of it, or I can stand back for a second and notice this is coming forward, because I can't keep moving forward with this fear. I can't move forward with being afraid that things are going to change. They're going to change. That's the way that it is. That is a matter of fact. So it's a whole process for me to, oh, okay. Because at first I was like really wrapped up in it. Then I shifted gears, and then I got a call from a family member that I haven't talked to for a while. And he had sent me a couple pictures, and he said that he was moving boxes around, and these two pictures fell out, and it was a picture of them, him and his wife when they were very young, and then close to the time that she passed. And it's like I start looking at the picture of this person that's my mom, and as her younger self, she probably was, I don't know, maybe she's only 17 years older than me. And it's like, and she was probably in her 20s at this point. You know, she's young. She's young. Gosh, like probably maybe mid 20s or so. And I'm looking at her and I'm seeing all these things that we were talking about in the last video. I'm seeing the fear and I'm seeing the worry, and I'm asking because Freeman can look at images of people and pick up a lot of information too. I know what I initially got, and I asked him to kind of take a look at it. And it's fascinating to see all this stuff. It's not from a victim standpoint, like, oh gosh, you know, she was doing all this stuff and then that's why I'm dealing with all this stuff. No, it's recognizing when we process it. So even like the last video, if we're going to love ourselves more, we really have to go within and start asking those questions. Because as we start processing a lot of this stuff, it's not stuff for me to blame anybody else, but it's like, oh, we learn that from those people, because they'll say you need to do as I say, not as I do. But we always recognize the energy. We always move forward from that space. And so it's like it's really looking at a lot of that space and thinking, oh, I've been doing this my whole life. I don't have to do this anymore. It's like that easy. It's just recognizing it, that how easy it is for us to let things go. And then wait a minute. Okay, I recognize it, but how can I move forward and it be easier? How can it be different than this? And that's where we've kind of been talking about this a lot. I think the last few recordings is really taking a look at, we have so much that's presented to us. We have people that are around us. We have songs that kind of present different information to you that we have an opportunity to change. There is so much information on the internet these days, platforms that are all over the place that you can gather information. Like you could go into Chat GPT, Grok, or whatever AI that you want to use. And I'm not promoting any of that stuff, but I'm saying that it can present different ideas of, okay, this is the way that I'm operating things right now. Let's just say, I do this with my grandson, but he doesn't, he's past it all now. And I got to learn how to evolve from this. And where can I go to? I can type it in there. I can say, hey, what can I do that's more beneficial with my grandchildren at these ages? Or I can go in and type it into YouTube. I can type it into TikTok. I can go anywhere and there's a different perspective everywhere. So with all that being said, we don't have to stay in the same place that we've been staying. And really, there's more avenues that we can go on to that can change everything for us. And that's why I love having perspectives. That's why I love having our conversations. That's why I like seeing the people that I see. It's just, there's so much information that comes forward that we can gain in that moment. That's for both of us, but it's both parties that are paying attention. It's for whoever wants to listen to our conversations when we have these conversations. It's pretty awesome that we have all these opportunities for growth and change. Otherwise, I could have stayed stuck in my old ways and continue going forward because I felt like I was right. I felt like I was right. And now when I look back at that person that thought she was right, she wasn't right. She was stopping the flow of everything coming to her because she knew. She knew, so there was no reason for any other information to come forward.
Yep. And when we have tunnel vision about and get so focused about being right, and we have to blame somebody else for our demise, it shuts us off from any growth. And it shuts us off from seeing the world differently, seeing your past, your history differently. When I started looking at my history different, that's where the growth started to happen. And if you put the blinders on, you won't be able to do any of that. They did this to me. This is why I'm the way I am. There's no point of trying to change, or there's no possibility of me changing. But really, as Bev said, change is going to happen. It's whether you're allowing it to or not. You're the one stopping the change, not anybody else. And fear will keep you from changing. The unknown will keep you from changing. The heavy emotional states of being will keep you from changing. And you just feel stuck. And until you can allow yourself to open up to other perspectives, like Bev was talking about, we come together. Her and I live almost parallel experiences. And we don't talk about this in between recordings. We show up and we start having a conversation. It's like, oh my gosh, me too. And so give yourself the opportunity to open up to different perspectives and listen to other ideas and then see what resonates. So that's what I've been doing my entire transformational journey. I'll read a book, listen to a podcast, listen to an inspirational speaker, whether it's in spirituality or business, doesn't matter. And I take what resonates. Doesn't mean their whole presentation or the entire book makes sense, or that I get it, or that I like it. It means there was a piece of it that got my attention in the moment with where I was with myself that said, I need that. I needed that piece of information. So I do just a little bit of a tweak within myself. And then I could read that same book, listen to that same podcast, listen to the same influencers, exact same speeches, exact same words in the book, and hear something totally different where I go, oh, that wasn't in there the first time. Somebody rewrote this, but it's a different edition. But no, the book's been sitting on my shelf. And it's just because I'm a different space with myself to receive some more information. So it's a continuous evolution process with yourself when it comes to change. And it's up to you to have that ability to be open to it. That's on you. That's not on me or Bev or anybody else. It's on you to do that for yourself. So before we wrap up, any final thoughts?
Well, and I've said it before, but stay open. It's be open to the information that's coming to you. Yeah. Because there's a reason it's showing up. And if it triggers you, like I was triggered yesterday about all this move stuff, stop for a second, take a breath, and then check in with yourself. Like, why is this affecting me this way? How can I have more faith and trust?
Yeah, absolutely. I just had to make a note of something real quick. Thank you for that. So other people are having these conversations and they're looking for resources. So be resourceful, share this video, share those links, share whether it's us or anybody else. This is why we all come together and do these podcasts, so that the information can show up when you're ready, when you need it, when you desire it, when you're asking the internal questions. And again, it's whether it's us or any other podcast, book, influencer, whatever it might be, whatever the resource is. And when you find something that works for you, then you be resourceful and you share that information. And so have the courageous conversations, or just let them know where to find the information. So we are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, and Spotify. So you can find us on any of those platforms, and you're welcome to put any questions or comments, and we come back to them at our earliest convenience, because Bev and I have very fulfilling lives. So it's not going to be an immediate response, but we will come back to it because I do get notifications. So anyway, with that being said, we appreciate your time and energy hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we will see you next time.
Bye.